Is it legal? Let's find out. The United States is a great nation, made up of 50 smaller ones. We're mostly united, but there are some differences in laws between the states.
Don't get me wrong.
Hi, this is Bob with Get Details.
If I'm looking kind of dazzled, I see neon lights whenever you walk by. Don't get me wrong.
We've trudged through volumes of maps and data to ferret out the tidbits that make it all make sense. Look at all the pretty colors. We're going to examine the laws that govern the way we live our lives here in America. And we're going to start off with something really juicy.
Don't get me wrong.
You gotta give him that hawk and spit on that man.
Yeah, I know, right? But once upon a time, spitting on the sidewalk was a big problem. Tobacco chewing and snuff caused a spitting epidemic, so there were big campaigns to make it illegal. Now in the 21st century, there are still 12 states where it still is,
Don't get me wrong.
and another 36 states where they'll definitely give you the stink eye. All these laws are attempts to cause you and me to behave ourselves like civilized human beings. And sure, we are civilized, but that doesn't mean we don't like to throw down once in a while. But just don't do it with a live bear in Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, or Tennessee. Even though Old Smokey could probably smoke your butt for lunch, there are real concerns. That's also why there are specific rules against wrestling other animals in other states. Now, let's see a show of hands. Who would ever consider wrestling a tiger? Illegal. Lion, likewise, lacking legality. Elephants. Now, hang on a second. How in the heck? Wolves? Now, they look like big angry dogs with a bad attitude to me. Monkeys and apes are also banned from the squared circle. And interestingly, in Florida, alligator wrestling is allowed in certain locations. There are laws about anything people like to do, normally with the purpose of protecting the population, like getting married. There are several legal rules that fall into this area. Is it legal? Let's find out.
It might just be fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Starting with the age of consent. In 31 states, it's 16 years old, same age as a driver's license. 8 states say 17, the same age you can join the military. And the remainder say the age you can do the wild thing is 18. But that doesn't mean you can't get married if you're under the age of consent. If your parents say it's okay, you can get married at age 15 in Hawaii, Kansas, and Mississippi. 22 states say 16 is sweet for saying I do. 12 states agree you should be at least 17. And the rest say wait till you're 18 and then take the plunge. And while we're on the subject of wedded bliss, can you marry your hot first cousin? Is it legal? Let's find out. Maybe. There are specific laws about cousin marriage. It's illegal in almost half the states, 24 to be exact. It's a maybe, depending on the circumstances in 7 more states. And 19 states say, go ahead, keep it in the family. There are special rules, though, like in North Carolina, where double first cousin marriage is not allowed. What the heck is that? Well, that's where brothers and sisters from different families marry each other and have kids. Those kids are not allowed to marry each other. It would just be too confusing. Way to keep it real, North Carolina. You know, I'm getting a little warm with all this baby-making talk. So let's do one more. Public nudity. Now, in my case, I break every law in the books when I strip down. But these 13 states say, at the proper place with the proper rules, it's okay to let the sun shine where it doesn't normally, including California, Colorado, Florida, Hawaii, Maine, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Texas, Vermont, Washington, and Wisconsin. And 37 states say keep your big old booty to yourself. Oh, and one more sensual law. What happens in Vegas may stay in Vegas, but if it's prostitution, it's not legal in that city. But just outside Vegas and other towns in Nevada, selling your physical services is a highly profitable, regulated, and legal business. It's limited to counties with under 700,000 people, which means you're out of luck if you're in Reno or Vegas. Who knew there were so many different laws in different states? Now, if I get one wrong, let me know. Sometimes sources contradict each other. There are a lot of important issues these laws are meant to control, and then there are some that are less consequential, like unsolicited phone calls. If you're a telemarketer who follows the rules, you can probably make calls in all 50 states. But there are strict rules, and if you don't abide by the law, you could end up with a large fine that will grow larger and larger until you have to change the name of your company and keep on doing what you're doing. 9 states have tougher laws and penalties for abusive phone callers. Those are in Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Missouri, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Next up, is it illegal to sell a ticket for more than face value? That's called scalping. And in half the states, it is not illegal, as long as you follow the rules. 16 states say no, you cannot do that under penalty of law. And the remaining 9 states allow it, under certain circumstances, which registers as a maybe. And how about sports betting? In the past few years, we've seen a coordinated effort to get it legalized with quite a bit of success. Odds are good, you can place a bet in your state by using your phone. They were so successful, 32 states now allow some form of sports betting. And 13 states have specific laws against it. Is it legal? Let's find out. We're coming into the high interest categories now, namely concealed and carry without a permit. Our research says almost half of all states, 22 to be exact, do allow concealed carry of a weapon without a permit. 28 states do not allow it. But these numbers are changing all the time. And what if you like to fish but don't want to use a pole or lure? If you're in one of these 15 states, go ahead, stick your hand in the dark, muddy hole. Show of hand, how many noodlers do we have watching right now? All the other states say keep your hands to yourself. As it says in the good book, rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. But if you're in Colorado or Utah, you'd be a lot better off letting it fall and run down the mountain. There are specific rules in those 2 states about collecting rainwater. Almost all the other states encourage it as a way to conserve water, but not Colorado or Utah. And to be fair, they are in unique locations compared to everyone else. We're down to the last 2 laws today, and they both have to do with intoxication. That's right. Once again, laws aim to regulate our good times. So if you're in need of a good belt early on a Sunday morning, you might be out of luck if you're in one of these 8 states. They still have a form of blue law. Alcohol sales are legal after a certain time. And in some locations, only beer is available on Sundays. And our last law now has to do with cannabis. It's another intoxicant that is highly illegal in many places, but completely legal for those of age in 23 states. You can use it medically with a doctor's permission in 18 more. But forget about it in Indiana, Idaho, Kansas, Nebraska, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Wisconsin, or Wyoming. But the laws are changing every day, and by the time we see this, it may be legal in more states. So what do you think? Did you realize there were so many different laws in different states? Personally, I did not. But now we know what we can and cannot do legally. Hey, thanks for watching, and remember, this is not legal advice. Talk to a lawyer about that. And be sure to check out our other completely mesmerizing videos on a variety of topics to get details.